play ClapTrap. That's it, that's the intro. Enjoy. I dedicated an entire day to this dumb little robot. I rolled out my clay mat and sorted out my clay, and I started by using a trick that I picked up from another artist. So for bigger chunk pieces, I used leftover clay and squished those all together to fill in the bulk, and that way I didn't use up my good clay to fill in the empty spaces. So I carefully shaped his tapered rectangular body and used a razor to cut more sharp sides. And of course I couldn't just leave him this puke green color, so I had to construct his skin. And if you care, I used the color gold from Arteza. I recently invested in a roller that has these interchangeable thickness guides. It's definitely excessive, but my god, it makes my life so much easier. And I'm not living in the 21st century to struggle, okay? Another trick I've picked up is using cornstarch so my clay doesn't stick on everything it touches. I learned the hard way not to use too much though, or it's not going to stick to itself, which is kind of crucial. So I rolled out the yellow and I added the white stripe and I measured and cut before wrapping the skin around his tiny little body. And I used a razor to clean up any edges. After a lot of cutting and molding and smoothing, I was finally happy enough with his body to move on. And I figured his wheel was the next biggest piece, so I jumped into that. To add the tread in, I ended up rolling out a thin line of clay and just cutting that into small pieces. Oh my god. Just the sheer level of confidence. What is wrong with me? Like, look, she acts like she has not done this to herself 50 times before. Okay, so at this point I started adding in all the small pieces and details on his body, so like buttons, panels, vents, his eyeball. I'm not gonna walk you through piece by piece because I don't have the time or patience, and I'm assuming that you guys don't either. So this is my extruder that I'm using to make little fish poop shaped pieces, and I'm using those as panel accents. And of course pieces this small are an absolute pain in the butt to work with. For the more rigid pieces like his antenna and his arms, I used a flexible copper wire to add structure, so I just shaped my clay around it. I also used that same wire to connect the wheels to his body. I baked him at 270 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour and a half, which might seem like a long time, but it was necessary since his body was so thick. My dude cracked. What the heck, yo? Even though I pre-poked the holes, some of them closed up, so I had to drill them before gluing the pieces into place. The last thing I wanted to do was to paint him to add in the extra details, and I use acrylics to add dirt as well as shading and highlights. I also decided to paint a base, which basically dried in 2 seconds in this heat. I then glued ClapTrap to the base using copper wire as, I guess, dowel would be the best term. Basically a copper piece that ran through the base and his wheel, and that kind of held them together. And there he is, there's my boy, all done. And I'm actually glad I started with ClapTrap, since Borderlands is such a quote-unquote grungy game. I feel like any cracks or quirks are all very forgiving on this character. But look at him, what a cutie patootie. Okay, but he actually turned out really cute. I love him. I didn't think it was gonna turn out as well as it did, because I'm just getting started with polymer clay. You guys don't care. This is what you care about, and look at him. He's adorable. Alright guys, but that was literally all I had for my video today. I really hope you enjoyed. Of course, you know the drill. Leave a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you've not already, because that would just be real dope. And that being said, guys, I will see you the next time around. Bye!